Hey there. So, you like Star Wars? I like Star Wars. A lot of people do. So, it's a question some people have asked is whether to play the Star Wars, the Old Republic game, and whether or not to subscribe. And if so, why? And what's the cheapest way to do so to get started and to subscribe and kind of keep playing? Whether you choose to or not, there is a fun way to give it a try and a really inexpensive way to try it out even for a couple months, to try subscribing for a couple of months and have it not be recurring or anything like that, and just real simple and extremely inexpensive. We're talking like cheaper than your average meal at Burger King expensive. So like under $10. In any case, let's take a look. If you were to go to the regular Star Wars, the Old Republic site, SWTOR.com, and have a look down here under the store. Now, what the average person might do, and what many people will do, come here and then make a choice of how to do a subscription, or maybe just as it gives the offer, play for free, because you can start playing for free. Or you can do the purchases. A one-time purchase is for 60 days, $30, non-recurring. But there's also the cheapest way is $13 per month for 180 days at a time. So that's the cheapest per month through this site. Now, Electronic Arts, or BioWare, people know the different company names that have to do with the creation of this game. They have a central game hub called Origin. And so check this out. Go to Origin, and you punch up the SWTOR game, click on it. Now don't go and do this, because I'm going to want you to click my friend subscriber link in the lower portion of this video, or at the underneath of this video, because that's going to get you some extra perks, get you 7 days of free play time right off the bat. And then you're going to want to subscribe at the end of that with this Origin deal. That's going to get you the longest amount of playtime and the most perks for your money. And so here's what I would recommend doing to do it the best way. Once you have played for the 7 days, and you can get this code right away and just don't put it in until it's time. But you click on Buy Now, and then you see that here they've got different packs. Play for free, of course. Standard edition is for a month of play, 30 days, $15. $30, 60 days of play, 60 days of prepaid game time, notice, for the deluxe. But check out what else you get here. Now, in this case, this is some kind of old information here that says that you get the Cachren Dagger Star mount. Now, a mount is something that you ride in the game for faster travel, and it's more fun anyway. Usually, like this, for example, would be a mechanical mount, but you can also get living mounts. Like in the Star Wars movie, you saw things like the Tauntaun that was ridden. So, just for example, from the original trilogy. Now, in this package, you notice the price is the same as this here, and it is a one-time non-recurring purchase. Here's the difference. Notice that here, if you want Cartel Coins, now these are a way to kind of transfer money that you made working an actual job and turning it into money that can be used to buy things in the game, for the game. Mounts, like I was talking about, for example, or different armor, or opening up different character types, or things like that, just for some examples. Those packs of coins. For example, here 1,050 costs $10, 450 $5. Well, check this out. For this $30, you get the 60 days of prepaid game time and 1,050 coins. Now, when I did this just yesterday, I actually got the first month of bonus coins that you get when you're a subscriber, that you get free every month for subscribing, which was another 500 coins. So I actually got the 1,050 and 500, so 1,500 coins as soon as I put in the code. Super cool. And if you think about what that does to the price, you've got your $30 minus what would have cost $10 for that 1,050. So now you're down to $20 worth if you were buying these coins, and then an extra 500, which only 450 costs another $5. So effectively, if you were to take out the $15 that you would spend on those Cartel coins, you're only left with $15 for your monthly rate here, or excuse me, for your 2 months of playtime. That's only $7.50 a month. That's like cheaper than a Whopper. Well, okay, a Texas double Whopper. But in any case, yeah, $7.50 a month for your first 2 months of playtime. On top of that, it was really cool, and I'll show you. I'm going to log in and show you. Instead of this particular mount right now, they actually gave 2 mounts, both. Well, I'll show you. So I'm going to go ahead and log in here first because I want to show you about the perks that I got. Now, here's one more thing to pay attention to. After you click my link and you start up a new account, it's going to ask you, are you sure that you want to? I'm on SWTOR's website here. I'm Peregrine Shadow. So it'll say, are you sure you want to accept this subscription invitation from this person? You want to say yes. Now, the security key is something that is optional, and it gets you some extra bonuses. For the site and for the game, it's just security benefit to the company. But what they give you in return is, now I'm logging in on my phone right now, there's an app you download, and it's free, and it pulls up the security key for you, which is a number that changes every, well, like 60 seconds, I think. Might even be 30 seconds. So in this case, 070949. Put in that security key, and if you forget to do it, it just says, hey, need the security key. But that extra security, it's comforting for them. For you, check this out. Go to my account and look at our Cartel Coins here, and security key, monthly grant. You get 100 extra coins. Whether you're a free player or a subscribed player, you get 100 coins every month just for having that extra security on your account. That doesn't cost you a thing. There's an in-game benefit I'm going to show you too. Now, here's what I was talking about with the Origin subscription. Remember, this is Electronic Arts kind of central way for you to buy games and stuff from them. It's a hub. And when I subscribed, that got their package, here's what happens when I put the code in. I got the 1,000, and like I told you, I got the extra 500 coins. And so it looks like one actually went in before the other. You notice my balance is this. So these actually went in the opposite order. In any case, really cool to start out with that right off the bat. Now, when I have you click that referral code, which you'll see this link down below the video, it's going to look like this for you. It's going to come up and say, are you sure you wish to accept this user referring you to play Star Wars The Old Republic? You say yes, you set up a brand new account, and that is going to get you some perks. So now I'm going to log into the game and show you what that's going to do for you. Start the game here. Say yes. Oh, and I think I have that up here already. Good. And this is for logging into the game. Once again, the security code 749253. So you see it's a different code. We say log in. Now, they also have recently done an update to 6.1.1a, which has added some really cool stuff to the game. I have appreciated changes. I actually started playing a year ago, but I didn't do the subscription after using someone's friend link. So I got the friend perk benefits, but I didn't start the subscription up, and so I wasn't able to use it again. So you can use the friend link and get benefits from it if you have had a gap of 90 days in between subscriptions. So if for some reason you decide to stop subscribing, then 90 days later you decide you want to play again, you can, or you can even just, keep playing, but in the free mode, which has some drawbacks. I'll show you those a little bit as well. But 90 days later, you want to kind of get the subscription benefits again. Well, you can use the friend link to start back up at premium to play for 7 days for free. And then, of course, you could start subscribing again for a few months. Now, the Origin deal here, you can only use, you notice, every 6 months. It says you can do this code only once every 6 months. I don't remember where that is that it says that, but there it is. Deluxe pack, every 6 month period you can do this, so you can redeem this. So you wouldn't want to try to do this more often than that. But the benefits you get, notice this. You get access to Onslaught, which is the newest additions to the game, highest level, and new planets and so on and so forth, new stories. You get access to Knights of the Eternal Throne, which is another set of stories. Knights of the Fallen Empire, additional stories. Shadow of Raven, additional stories. Rise of the Hutt Cartel, more stories, and you have additional planets involved in these things. So there's so much that you get extra in access through this deluxe pack. It is just ridiculously worth it. And once again, you're talking about $7.50 a month plus the price of those cartel coins, all for $30. I mean, come on. A pizza costs between $20 and $30 at your average pizza place. So seriously, that one purchase gets you 2 months of access to all these stories. It's really cool. So going back to the game login here, go ahead and push play. I'll show you a little bit about how this looks in the game. This is going to alter my resolution here on my screen for better quality and smoother gameplay. And just so it's easy for you to remember, once you have joined up with the game and created an account and created a character, then you might want to look me up and hook up with the guild that I am a part of. I'm not the owner of the guild, but a guild is basically a group of people who has access to each other to play missions together or share things with each other or help each other out. Some of them have been playing since all the way back to like 2012. So we're talking really long time members, and others are brand new. So it can be pretty fun to have access to players that have that much experience. And so Night to Remember, that should be pretty hard for you to forget. And so you should be able to find me on there, as well as we can hook you up with that guild. Now, I told you I'd show you, I'm going to log into her first. I told you I'd show you one of the benefits of that security key in-game. Okay, so that's interesting. This is the Central Fleet spaceship for the Republic, and this space station gives you access to a whole lot of different vendors and access to different areas in the game, ways to interact with each other as well. Now, one of the things I was talking about is this security key vendor. Now, if you talk to this vendor, you get access
this side
to
of the
things
galaxy. You check
that otherwise you wouldn't have access to, because you have to have a security key to get access to this vendor. One great example of a benefit here is this dye. For example, you can dye your clothing different colors. The white and red dye, if you were to try and buy that on the galactic market, as it's called, the in-game market, would cost anywhere from 15,000 if somebody has it ridiculously cheap, but usually you're going to be looking at 30 to 50,000 credits for just one, and you normally will need one per clothing item, so one for your boots, one for your pants, and so on. So you can imagine that would add up really quickly. Well, if you're happy with white and red, you can do that for as cheap as 5,000 to alter the clothing color, if you wish, for yourself or for your companion. Now,
appreciate your business.
Those are some nice benefits there. There are also some other clothings there, some different mounts, pets, all kinds of things that are only accessible if you have a security key. Now, another thing that is kind of cool is in the character customization, I was talking about being able to dye the different things. And you can actually, when you have access as a subscriber, you have options like the hide head slot, So one thing that's a benefit as a subscriber is that when you're looking at the different clothing options, like I said, you can change those with dyes. But when you're a subscriber, you have access to, this is one thing, the hide head slot, which otherwise this is disabled if you're free to play. And so you might, say for example, be wearing a helmet that completely covers your head and your hair, and maybe you have a hairdo that you want to show off, or you want to see the character's face. A hide head slot will hide whatever you're wearing without taking away the benefits of that armor, but it lets you see the head of the character. It's kind of a nice feature, and only available if you're subscribing, or if you pay extra on top of your free account, if you pay extra to open up that feature. Another feature that is available only when you're subscribing is unified colors. Now this one will save you from having to buy that dye for each of the different clothing items. So here's all the different clothing items. If I wanted to dye them all with the same colors, you notice I've got like 7 different possibilities here of necessities of dye. Now that could add up pretty quick, especially if you're talking about 30 to 50,000 credits each. On the other hand, if you just add the die to your jacket, or your chest piece as it's called, then you can choose to unify the colors with any of those other pieces, and it will use the die that's in that chest piece to match with the others. And so that's really useful, and obviously you can cut down your cost of adjusting how your character looks. Super cool. Now another nice benefit is when you come in as a friend. I'm going to exit out of this character. And we'll go ahead and create a new character. I'll show you how this works. So when you have purchased the bundle package, you get access to Onslaught, the newest, as we talked about, Knights of the Fallen Empire. You can actually create characters directly accessible to these versions of the game right at that character level. So normally Knights of the Fallen Empire is something you would get into when you were at a higher level, level 60 or above. And so you can actually create a character directly at level 60 if you wish. Maybe more useful for a returning player, of course, than for someone brand new. Same thing with the Onslaught. They might want to jump in and create a character at level 70, so not have to go through starting at level 1 and working your way up. On the other hand, we're going to go ahead and start with a brand new, fresh character. And I usually do Republic light side play, but you can also, of course, do the dark side, the Imperial play. Show you real quick that I'm going to do a Jedi Knight, and I want to show you the character options as far as the species are concerned. Now this is another perk to being a subscriber. Normally you see there's no little lock next to the human and the Zabrak and the cyborg. Those are always available to you, and there are different species available to different character types that you are choosing. In this case I chose the Jedi Sentinel, but because of being a subscriber, the red skin Zabrak is available. That's something that is only true for a light side character if your subscription is intact. Same thing, you notice that the Marialan is available, unlocked. The Twi'lek is available and unlocked, and the same thing with the Miraluka. And so I didn't have to pay to unlock those individually. You can do so, which I did with the Togruta, so don't make the mistake of thinking that that is unlocked with subscription as well. It is not. You notice these, like the Cathar here, for example, the Chiss and others, they are only available if you pay Cartel Coins to unlock those character types. And so I did that for the Togruta, but these other ones, that happened just because of whoops, not that one. Those things happened because of subscribing, so that's a nice benefit. I'm gonna go ahead and we'll do a Twi'lek. So next,
may the Force be with you.
Character, and you can, zoom out when you're creating a new character. Pick of 4 basic body types, and then you can zoom in on the head. You can see how it changes the different facial structural features, and you can, if you want to,
a Jedi's limits must always be put to the test.
Rougher looking character, you can add various different scar patterns to them, and complexion, you can change the way the skin's going to look. Now what I like to do in creating a character is I like to pick the skin color first, because once I have decided on the color of the skin, that often will directly affect how things like scars or the complexion are going to look, or even the eye color, for example. So It'll stand out more on some, be more subdued on others, so that can definitely make a difference. Eye color, sure, that's fun. And then patterns and cosmetics. Some characters are going to have actual cosmetics it's going to show. Other characters, so you see there's a little bit of eye makeup here and lip makeup, whereas that's not always the case. And various other species will have different makeup or none, or possibly tattoos or other markings or jewelry or things, and those are not the same between all the different ones. You notice this also has some leku
Helping others is both a duty and an honor
as well. So those things are
helping others is both a duty and an honor.
And then in this case, you can actually change the headband.
A Jedi's
as well.
limits must always be put to the test.
I'm going to pick a random name because I'm not going to keep this character anyway. Say play, and it seems somebody else has already accepted that random name. We'll try again. There we go. Now, like I say, I just did this subscription through Origin yesterday, and yet I also had done the friend link a year ago. And so because I had done that friend link, when I start a new character, that new character gets some benefits right away that are really useful. Let's see, mailbox is over here, that's right. So, here's what you get in the mail. Now, some of these things are like this event mount and some other things that have to do with celebrations and those things. Those are things that happened over time. I put in quotes for those things, so we're going to ignore those at this time. On the other hand, you've got a welcome to the Knights of the Eternal Throne, for example. This is just to kind of give you a heads up as to what that's about. There are others that welcome you to each of the different game sections, like the Rise of the Cartel tells you what level you should be starting that at, for example. So that gives you some idea of how that works. Now, when you choose my friends link and accept that and start playing for the 7 days for free as a premium player, this is what that gets you in here. That's going to get you this little box. I'm going to open up my inventory and show you what happens when I activate that. Popped up this box out of the ground here and gave me this Jumpstart bundle. There's a couple nice things that does for you. You notice I started out with no money. So that gives me some credits to start with. And I'll show you how that works. You simply go over to a vendor. Somebody
Take a look at the stock. What can I get you?
We can sell them those this credit marker. And now I have 1,000 credits. And just starting out here, some of the new clothing, for example, is very inexpensive. But it's a lot more than 0, so I started out pretty low. This helps you build experience faster than you usually would. And this is an extra inventory module. Now this is cool because you kind of have a invisible backpack that you carry around, the ability to pick things up along the way. And that has these 3 rows of inventory space. You'll find that loads up pretty quickly as you're walking around. Then you can bring things back and sell them to the vendors for more money. Well, this is one of those friend perks, like I said. Oops, I'm going to get out
Appreciate your
store
business.
Access, and just looking at my inventory. Activate that, and you notice this adds on another whole 10 inventory spots. So a whole other line. Super useful for going around hunting for stuff. Now you also get a benefit with the Origin subscription that you don't get with just a normal subscription, and that is, you remember how I said about that mount that they were saying that you would get? Well, in this case, instead of getting the mount that they were talking about. This is the one that they do include. And the mount, once again, is basically like a little personal transportation device. A benefit of subscribing is that you get to use these at only level 10. If you are not subscribing and you're playing for free, you have to wait till level 20 to have access to use these kind of things. Then this was a mechanical one. Now, like I was saying, you actually get, with the Origin deal, a living mount as well, which is... where is it? There we go. So this is something new that just happened in joining here, and I'm not sure why this came in or where, but it's kind of a thank you thing, it says, and this is super cool because you get a living mount, a tauntaun, right off the bat, and that allows you to have that to ride, once again, if you're subscribed at level 10. So you will get to use this if you're in your first 7 days of free premium play from just using my friend link, but I don't know that you'll actually get this mount right away. I'm not sure why this mount is coming in, because they don't talk about it on the Origin site, but then on the Origin site they don't talk about that other mount either. They have a different one named. So all I can say is that highly recommend that you use the friend link. I'm going to go ahead and log back out here from this character, and that will get you that extra inventory spot as well as some free credits to start your ride off, and that's a really nice way to start playing even as a free to play player. Now I'm also going to go ahead and go back in here and show you something else. When you are a free-to-play player, that means you either played the 7 days through and then decided not to subscribe and just continue playing, or you subscribe and then at some point let your subscription run out and stop and just continue playing for free. Then you also have access to 2 of the crew skills at a time for your companions. So you see you've got a companion with you, and those are you gather various companions along the way on your travels through the galaxy and your different stories. And so when you have those companions, they can learn to do things like, for example, make clothing or make weapons or make crystals for affecting how powerful things are that you use. They can make dyes for their clothing. They can gather things along the way. They can gather plants or gather technical things from old junk, all kinds of stuff. So there are, you notice there are 2 spots here. That's because I was a free-to-play player right up until a couple days ago, or until yesterday actually. And this 3rd slot shows up, but when you try to use it, it tells you that you can't unless you subscribe or you pay money and buy the extra slot. So that can be pretty expensive because it's usually only open per character. And when you are subscribed, then all of your characters get access to that 3rd slot. So that's especially useful because, for example, if you're going to make some armor, you may need things from multiple different types of gathering capabilities. So you might need some electronics from what's called slicing, or you might need some crystals or other kind of or metals or cloth or things like that. And those are gathered through other kinds of gathering skills. And so you can only do one of those along with the actual crafting skill. And so having a second one can make a big difference to what all is available for your character to do. Otherwise, you end up just on the market having to buy stuff, which can get really expensive really quick. with the in-game money. Now, of course, you can earn in-game money by going out and running missions. So there's no end to how much you can earn. But it takes time to do that, and having access to your crew being able to do more stuff is totally useful. And when you're subscribing, like you saw on here, after you have used that Origin couple of months worth of play, after 60 days, it is not recurring, so you will need to continue your subscription by way of this website, because remember, you can't reuse this deal until 6 months have passed. Then you could use this again. But in the meantime, whoops, it logged me out automatically, of course, so I just wanted to show you the store, though. You would need to choose one of these subscription methods, or of course you could do another 60-day non-recurring for $30. That's $15 a month. The least expensive, of course, is $13 a month. The ultimate least expensive, because these do not include coins except for the regular monthly allotment of 500, plus an extra 100 because you're going to do that security key, hopefully. On the other hand, if you do this to start out, remember you get that extra of your monthly allotment right up front and an extra 1,000. So you start out with 1,500 right off the bat. Super cool. Great way to get started and have some fun with it. Get access to all the stories and even high-level characters right off the bat if you wish, especially if you're maybe a returning player. And I think that's probably about all I can show you at this point that is of benefit. Hey, so I had realized that there was one more thing about being subscribed that makes it better than just being a free-to-play or preferred customer, preferred being what you become after you subscribe and then quit, or after you try out and do free-to-play afterwards, even if you never paid for a subscription, but maybe you do something like buy some Cartel Coins. So in any case, this is a nice benefit as well. When you purchase something in the market, then and you access it, like this right here is a box that contains, as it says here, both leggings and boots that are only available in the market. Now they're bundled together, so if I click on those, you'll see that it comes up, shows me what's in the package. Now I bought this off of the network market here, and if I take either one of those items out, I'm going to go ahead and take them both out. You'll notice that now when I hover my mouse over it, says that they're bound. Right underneath the little picture with the little gold emblem on it, it says bound. And then down at the bottom of that red topped box there, it says this item is bound to you for 1 day, 11 hours, 59 minutes. You see that in red at the bottom of that box. That normally, when you're preferred or free to play, starts with 3 days, so double the amount of time. So that's kind of cool, because basically if you buy something off of this and open it up in this way, let's say that I only wanted to keep and use these pants, but I don't really want the boots. So maybe I want to turn around and sell the boots back on the market to somebody who wants the boots. Well, I can't do that for a day and a half. I have to hold on to these. But when I was free to play, I had to hold on to anything and everything that I opened up for 3 days before I could do anything with it. Needless to say, that takes up a lot of space really quick if you like to play around with different things in here. So that's just one more nice benefit about being a preferred player, about being a sub player versus a preferred player or free to play, is being able to have a shorter time for these things to become active as usable for other stuff. Oh yeah, and one more thing that I remembered is if you want to, you can see what I clicked on back here. Here's the mailbox. And if you want to send or receive mail, you can receive mail from people, but as far as sending mail, sending items, sending credits and things, those things are all limited if you are free to play, including if you are in an area with somebody and you were to click on their icon. So, for example, I have my partner here hiding between the banks there, but if I am to click, oh, she's actually over here. Normally, if you click on somebody else, they'll show up in this other little window here that they're selected, and then you can initiate things like a trade or to give them something, or you can whisper to them, add them as a friend, things like that. Well, all those things that you can do are limited if you are a preferred or free-to-pay player, or free-to-play. Yeah, that's what I mean. So in any case, if you are subbed, then you get access to all of the features, obviously. So that's another major benefit. Also, something that happens is there are certain equipment that you can use when you are a subbed player, or if you are free to play, then you have to pay extra to open up this ability. So you see this particular item here is purple in color as far as its rating, and there are quite a few things that you'll want to use that are purple, and because they're the higher rated items, and yet they'll tell you that you have to have a certain authorization in order to use them. If you are free to play or preferred, you cannot use them. So you can pay extra to open up that availability, or if you are subscribed, it automatically opens up for you. So there are a number of things that are of a major benefit. Okay, so to show you that artifact authorization I was talking about for the purple gear, if you go to the cartel market here, which is where you would use those cartel coins that you would get, I'll do a quick search for artifact. And this is what I originally did, because I started out with the friend referral link, which gave me 7 days of subscribed time, and then I purchased some cartel coins because you don't start with any, and used some of those to go ahead and activate this here authorization artifact equipment. And you see that says this authorization allows you to equip and use most artifact quality gear and item modifications. Subscribers automatically gain the authorization, and this applies to story and player versus player equipment. You notice that there are two different possibilities here. One of these, and I found this out kind of by surprise, one of these is to purchase this upgrade just for the current character. That's this amount. If you want to purchase it for all of your characters, then it shows the amount. See here for the whole account, it's not 1,200 anymore. Now it's 2,700. That's to cover all characters on your whole account. The reason that would be useful is if you want to keep using that kind of equipment, then you would need this. Say, for example, you were going to let the subscription run out, become a preferred or free-to-pay player, then free-to-play, yeah, there we go. Then you will lose access to this equipment. Even if you've already got it enabled on your character or whatever, you will lose access to using this equipment. And so this would allow you to keep that access. Same thing goes for what I was talking about before with the extra crew skill. You notice I picked up another crew skill for this person now. And so now, before I only had the armor mech ability to make armor, and this is a relatively new character I started, so I haven't really done a whole lot with these yet. And then diplomacy here is missions that they run. You can send the companion characters out to run missions while you're not doing anything. And then this here, archaeology, they can run missions, but also when you're out running around on a planet, for example, I was doing so, running missions on a planet, and there were crystals that I would rather regularly come across, or pieces of computer equipment, or pieces of plant life, or things like that, things that are alive that biochem could maybe make use of. Well, if you only have, say, diplomacy, for example, but not archaeology, you can see those things, but you can't do anything with them. Now that I added archaeology, I could go over and click on the crystals, for example, and I could gather from them, and that goes into my inventory to be usable for crafting or for selling on the market, for that matter. If I had both archaeology and slicing, then any computer parts I came across, I could also gather from. Or if I had biochem, I could gather from plant life, for example. But without having those abilities on the character, when you're running around, you can see those things, but you can't interact with them, so they aren't of any use to you. So the more you have available, maximum is 3, then the more you can do. When you become non-subscribed, you have to pick one that you're going to lose. That's exactly what I did when I first was playing. Got to play for 7 days, subscribed, and then when it was over, I had to choose which thing I wanted to give up. And it doesn't matter how far along it is, you lose all of the experience that you've had with it thus far, and you lose that ability. So, yet one more thing to pay attention to for if you allow yourself to become unsubscribed at some point. So I guess that'll about do it for that. And so I hope you enjoyed it, hope you find it beneficial and worth clicking my link down below to get started playing. Remember, click the link, accept, and create a new account and get started. Then after that 7 days of free premium play, you're going to go to Origin. You may want to do this up front just so you have it ready. Get the deluxe pack for $30. It gives you a code. Once you have that code, you're going to come onto here and you're going to log in. Go ahead and show you how this works so that you know exactly what to do. I'm using my app on my phone, 505-959. Put in my security key for this moment. And you're going to put in code redemption right here. You go under log in, your account, code redemption, and have a redeemable code. You push enter a code, and this is exactly what I did when I subscribed yesterday. When I got the Origin, I paid for that using my PayPal account, got the code, I punched in the code here, push continue, and bam, everything is activated. So super easy. Now on the website, for some reason, when I did it yesterday, I had an issue. Clicked on buy now and it was coming up saying login wasn't available and stuff. Wasn't sure why it was doing that. Contacted customer service. They recommended that I just go onto my browser on my phone, go to origin.com and do it there, and it worked instantly. But as you can see, it does for me now on this website. It is working. Click on buy now. It pops up. It lets me log in, or of course you can register an account. And then once you are, of course, you're already going to have a Star Wars account at this point because you will have clicked my link and accepted that and played for maybe a few days or maybe even 7 days, and you see what happens. It comes up, preview the order. I use PayPal and sit pay now, and that's it. That's done. So that's all there was to it. Super cool, super fun, and definitely the least expensive way to get started playing or to start playing again and get the most bang for your buck. So have fun, stay safe, and may the force be with you.